Geologic sequestration involves the capture of CO2 from human sources before it's emitted into the atmosphere, and then the long-term storage of that CO2 in reservoirs deep underground. Geologic sequestration will work best with large stationary sources of CO2 like factories or power plants.
Geologic sequestration of CO2 from these large stationary sources is a three-part process. First, the CO2 is separated from the exhaust and is purified or concentrated. Second, the CO2 is transported to the storage site. Finally, the CO2 is injected into an appropriate underground storage reservoir, which is then monitored. A handful of large-scale sources are already able to capture and concentrate CO2 from their processes, and they are able to sell that CO2. For example, several facilities provide food-grade CO2 that puts the fizz in soft drinks. But for most large-scale sources, separating and concentrating the CO2 for sequestration using today's technology will be difficult and very expensive.
In terms of power plant emissions, there really is no technology that we are aware of today that would allow the economical capture of CO2 from current conventional power plant design. The problem is cost.
Right now, best technologies available for CO2 capture at a power plant might increase the cost of electricity to the consumer by as much as 50%. The University of Regina and Sask Power are investigating capture and separation techniques using a small-scale unit attached to the Boundary Dam power plant at Estevan, Saskatchewan. Their results could help reduce the cost of CO2 separation in the future. Once the CO2 is captured and concentrated, it would be transported to the storage site. For the past 30 years, it has been safely transported by pipeline, just like natural gas and petroleum. When the CO2 arrives at the sequestration site, the final step of the process begins. Most CO2 storage sites would be deep underground. Suitable candidates include unminable coal beds, depleted oil and gas reservoirs, and saline reservoirs which contain undrinkable water.